Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of Divya Does AI. Today, I'm going to show you something exciting. So I had a lot of data, CSV, JSON, and I needed to build out like a interactive, insightful dashboard. And what I did was kind of played around with ChatGPT, had like conversation about the business logic, what needs to happen, what doesn't need to happen, what the dashboard should look like, and ended up building, this dashboard. And as I was like building it, I realized that I don't need to continue using, AI credits to rebuild or update the dashboard again and again. So actually what I did is like ended up building like this processor engine that I want to talk about today, where the processor engine actually takes the JSON data that you give and kind of does like the business logic, the presentation logic, the validation, the things that are needed, and then spits out like a interactive dashboard that you can like host in Vercel or some other, hosting thing. So the data itself is like, I like playing with JSON instead of CSV. CSV is good, but I think JSON is just like more structured data. This one is related to like projects, time, client, budgets, some of the PM stuff that I've been like doing. Please note, all of this data is randomized and nothing related to any real data that I have to like work with. And then what it does is once I have like all of the data in, it's finding project relationship, normalizing the numbers, doing its own analysis, which I did not even know about. Like the data itself is in seconds instead of hours, and like cents instead of dollars. So it was kind of interesting. And it was also suggesting about, hey, do you want to know the lifetime spend versus within a particular month and whatnot. And also talking about what needs attention and what the workflow should like look like, right? So it's taking the input of the JSON, normalizing it, joining it by, project IDs, applying like rules, validating it, and then finally like rendering what that interactive dashboard is supposed to look like. It also talks about like if you have like missing budget, duplicate times, and unknown project IDs, just talking to you about that, and then saying, hey, I'm going to tuck them away in a different section and all of that. Finally, it like renders, what that is. Just, I'm a visual learner, so for me, it kind of makes sense to just like, well, how is like all of this working? So there's been like all of the data is there, and then it's just putting it into like the right buckets, right sections or categories that you can like think about. And then what it does is like it generates a HTML, which we're going to look at. But the first thing is going to be understanding in like plain English what the portfolio is, what the information is. Then client dates, what can be changed, what you cannot change. And then also giving something that I like is like its own risk analysis on what do you call the things that it thinks that you need to like pay attention to. Again, depending on like the industry, depending on how it relates to your work, you should be able to like give more insight into it. The final thing is like one prompt, like we'll go through the prompt in a minute, but the final result again is all like demo data, but it gives you like this lovely interactive dashboard that's just saying, hey, these are like the start date, these are like the total spend, utilization, blah, 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 which one is like at risk, which one is, underutilized, and all of that. And also the thing is like not even just at risk as to why is this at risk, and what are the supporting projects that are needed. Now, what I was going to say is if you have ideas and you're working with ChatGPT or Claude or any of the AI agents, you should use the AI technology to figure out what your idea is, figure out what the process is. But the moment you know that it is repeatable, the moment you're happy with it, you're content with it, you don't want to be burning up AI computing credits if it's not needed, right? Once you have like the logic, my advice to you is going to be building out a standalone processor engine that can like do all of the things, as long as like your business logic and like the computation that is needed is not like AI inside. Rather, hey, I already have like the data, I already know the rules, I already know what needs to happen, then move it into a processor kind of like engine, like what I did to kind of generate. I know it moves it from like one step of just asking an AI agent to do something to like two steps. But again, I don't think we need to burn AI credits if we really don't need it. So that's where kind of it goes. That's my kind of like personal opinion. Again, you should do what's best for you. If you're curious, you can try it out. This is like the prompt structure. Now, this is not what I typed, right? But I told ChatGPT is like, hey, if we were to like start from like day one, hour one, minute one, what is the ideal prompt that you would write to use the least amount of credits, but also go through all of the things that we went through to like build out this product and not stop in between. One of the things that I've learned is I keep harassing it, like a project manager who's like, hey, where's this something at? The moment I ask that question, it would just like stop. So I think the prompt does say that, hey, don't like, let me go find it, where it says do not, do not declare completion until all of the things are there. And also when you're providing, updates, just say completed, in progress, issue found, next action that is needed. This is like the low credit efficiency rules that it came up with. So I think that is pretty good. It's so that you don't end up doing what I did, where there was like a lot of like back and forth and whatnot. So hopefully this helps. Continue to like to play around, continue to explore. I guess be responsible when using AI credits, so that you don't end up in the news with like $1 million budget burn. So hopefully this helps.